Hello and a very warm welcome back to some Seashore Birding Adventures. I've finally got 5 minutes to sit down and put together a bit of a slideshow showing some of the birds that I've managed to see over the last 6 months. For any of you who follow my channel, a lot of my time was taken up with producing the 2 videos, Birding Wisdom, but in between that I did actually manage to get out and see a few birds, so I'd like to share with you a few of the highlights now. Okay, my first attempt for this North American rarity came 2 frustrating days after it first got reported. A bird that I was familiar with living in British Columbia, Canada, and where I was fortunate enough to see it in the hand when I was volunteering at the Vasu banding station in the Okanagan Valley. However, this is a mega rarity here in the UK and I was definitely keen to see it. Unfortunately, I came up empty-handed on my first attempt on the 5th of January after travelling down straight after work. Nonetheless, I was up early the next day and again headed east, contributing yet again to the wonderful Dartford crossing charge. At least I knew where to park and where to walk to. This again was a fairly frustrating vigil, and though I did manage to both hear and see the bird at close quarters, it was literally a 5-second view. Having said that, it was a good view, and I was relieved. The bird called and landed on top of a bush near the little scrubby creek, which you can see down in the right hand corner here, then immediately disappeared into the undergrowth. By this time I was knelt down scanning the mud under the bush close to where it had vanished. Before I knew it, it was there, twitching its tail, showing side profile and its distinctive pale supercilium clearly seen. The following week, on the 13th, I was back, arriving at just before 7:30. However, the viewing bank around the bigger main creek was already packed with birders and there was no way I would be able to get into position to see. Luckily, there was room at the other end of the creek, and though further away, there was opportunity for scope views. Here, I finally managed to get much longer looks at this incredible rarity as it moved around the muddy vegetation. En route home, I stopped at Rainham Marshes RSPB Reserve as I was passing anyway. Here I got to see a nice flock of fieldfare. These Scandinavian thrushes are always fantastic to see and hear, and added to that a very obliging kestrel that must have been very used to people here as it perched close to where I was birding. Normally I can't get anywhere near these birds other than maybe somewhere like Elmley on the Isle of Sheppey. Again, in between my birding wisdom research, I did a couple of my web counts, which, though a quiet site, contributes to this extremely important ongoing survey. Another optimistic trip down to Cornwall regrettably came up with similar results as my previous efforts to this fantastic scenic county. My hope was to connect with a wonderful sociable plover that showed with a lapwing flock from the 1st to the 9th of February. However, we turned up on the 10th. It was a very moody day with fantastic light at times and with downpours in between. However, it was nice to hang out this site and also with Brad Decker and his wife. This long-staying North American mega had me twitching as I could never seem to find the time to go for it. Finally, and maybe unwisely, we went for it on the 1st of April, genuinely hoping the April Fool wasn't on me. The drive up to Glasgow the previous day was fortunately went well, placing us just about a 30-minute drive from the site. Parking up in the town, I made my way through the quiet streets and then onto the housing estate and finally to the door leading between the houses. Admittedly, I felt a little apprehensive going through the door, feeling I was invading the privacy of the tenants, though it clearly said on bird guides, this is what you do. Luckily, someone else turned up, a local photographer who had visited a few times now. The garden view, probably familiar to many of you, had a fairly good outlook, and it wasn't long before I heard, then saw the bird. It, however, wasn't coming down to the food as it had been usually doing, its usual routine. It mainly spent time preening in the trees behind the fence and continually chasing off other birds. During its long stay at this site, it had been molting and was close to full plumage when I got to see it. This was another species I was familiar with from the west coast of Canada, though most of the yellow-rump warblers I got to see were Audubons, though with the yellow throats, though we did regularly see myrtle with its white throat. Now, my third North American rarity for 2024 came in the form of this wonderful slate-coloured dark-eyed junco in Gillingham in Dorset. Though this bird only stayed 2 days at this location, luckily I managed to time it right and got some good views. Now, woodchuck shrike, for some reason, has been somewhat of a nemesis for me, dipping at least 4 times, mainly down in Cornwall. So it was nice to finally catch up with this handsome bird a little closer to home this time. Though we managed to connect with this fantastic bird at Slofton, Suffolk in October 2022, I definitely felt compelled to get another viewing of this species, though as this slide quite clearly states, it was all in vain. Unfortunately, this individual was a one-day wonder, showing well on the 5th. The inserted photo is of the bird we got in Suffolk. Our lesser grey shrike represents yet another dip bird from 2023 and another long drive down to Minions in Cornwall, where yet again I was a day late for a bird that had been showing well for about 11 days. However, I went for this bird at Telegraph Hill on the day it was reported and got fantastic views. This was fortunate as it was gone the next day. On the 15th of June, I did a morning shift with the Surrey Bird Club, showing members of the public the peregrine falcons that breed here in Woking on the old BAT building, and which have successfully bred here for the last 9 years. This year they managed to fledge 3 young, though during our vigil we only saw 2 juveniles and the falcon and the tearsel. My good birding pal Nick Tanner also came down to help out, and we both luckily witnessed a fantastic food pass where the female came in carrying prey, calling the tearsel off the building, where he successfully caught the prey from below. Well, that's it for another Something Seashore Birding Adventures. I hope that you enjoyed that little video. The only other there was a couple more birds that I could have mentioned. that I didn't get photos of. Grasshopper warbler, got nice views of that up in Warwickshire when I visited Middleton RSPB Reserve, and also I got at least got to hear Savvy's warbler at Welney in Norfolk, and also just up the road from there a wonderful corncrake. But I'm pretty sure that must have been one of the release birds. But got to get some nice audio of that. Anyway, I hope that you're having a good birding season. I'm looking forward to this sort of migration period now, for the waders that are moving through, and also looking forward to the autumn and the winter. Anyway, until my next episode, enjoy your birding, and I'll see you in the field.